So today I'm having a bit of a clean out and came across this big box of tapes, and it just took me to back in the day when I don't want to come across like an old codger or anything, but things were like so much more difficult than they are now. Now you've got so many people on Instagram. I got beats for sale. You DM them, they send you stems, or they email it to you, and you've got them. You take those the tracks into the studio. You do your thing over them. You send them back with the stems. They rework it. They master it. Bob's your mother's brother. But back in the day, we used to have to read like Hip Hop Connection magazine, you know, which had all the reviews of all the up and coming albums that are being released. A lot of them were just states only releases that you couldn't get over here unless you paid for the import. So even back in the day, you'd end up paying 20 quid, which is a lot of money in the 90s, like for vinyls that you couldn't get over here, or even cassette tapes you couldn't get over here. Anyway, I digress. So you'd get the the adverts in the back of them, in the back pages, and there'd be like someone saying, yeah, I've got beats for sale. And you send them a postcard, you get in contact, you say, yeah, I'd like to buy some beats, or can you send me some, we'll work together. So, you know, you send them a postcard with your address on it, and then they'd mail out this, which is a really poor quality tape, someone else's tape that you stick the, if you remember this, the sellotape over the holes, and then you can record over it. And so they'd send you your beats on this, and they are how they are. So they'd send you this, and then you just make it work. Somehow you would then dub your vocals over the top of it, and hey presto, you got your tune or whatever. Yeah, man. I mean, what's the date on this? 1995. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Crazy. And then people don't do this no more because we've got Spotify, which compiles playlists for us. So we could just put in neo soul and it'll play you however much neo soul from that genre or whatever. But back in the day, if you couldn't afford to go out and buy everything, you'd get these, which is a mixtape. And this is one with Semtex, DJ Ev. And I remember you'd buy these, and these would have mixes from DJs. They'd pick the tunes that would come out and they'd just mix it. And, you know, you just trust that DJ that they've got the taste where they just pick the best tunes. And that's how you get to hear all the latest stuff coming out. And you cherry pick what you wanted to actually spend your money on. And I remember the days where I used to work in Sports Direct in the shoe stock room, and I had a cassette deck in there, and I just used to bang out my mixtapes all day. So these, when I open this box, it's like looking at a long lost friend. It's actually quite emotional. Do you know what I mean? Because the tunes that are on these take you back to the time where you were and the struggle that you were going through, or the good times that you were going through, you know? This sort of thing, man. I mean, like, where are we? Like this. It's my Jerry the Damager cassette tape, man. I mean, look at that drawing. But I couldn't afford to go out and buy the stuff. I didn't have the money to buy it, so I just used to wait for one of my friends to pick up the CD or the cassette tape, and I'd dub it. And if this actually makes it onto Instagram, I'm so sorry to all those, if any of these artists would see my stuff, but I was broke, man, living on a shoestring back in the day, you know. And I'd just be dubbing the stuff and making my own covers. This is Illmatic. It's supposed to be Nas on the front. These are the dubs from Yo MTV Raps. These are the cassette tapes. I used to hook up my dad's hi-fi to the TV. So I used to record Yo MTV Raps and then be able to record from the TV onto cassette tape. So all that stuff that we couldn't get out here, I was just recording straight from the TV. And yeah, there'd be people chatting over it and adverts that would clip it and stuff like that. But you know what? Beggars cannot be choosers. And this is how I sort of came up listening and being inspired by artists. Just mad. Just mad. Mobb Deep Murder Music. Even recording off Radio 1. Look at that. You know the score when Westwood would play. That was the only place back in the day that I could, being a kid in Northampton, you know, could find any radio stations playing it. So you just got hip hop from wherever you could. And this was how we used to rock. And I feel really fortunate that I went through that. That I was able to experience that. That was the way that I experienced hip hop. Through that hardship was a blessing, you know, because in order to sort of like, it was a love that we had to dig for. Do you know what I mean? You know, when you got to dig for a diamond, we had to unearth it because it wasn't as widely available as it is now. We just had a music genre that was different from everything that was really a new way of creating what was in our head and putting it out there. And that's what I did. Anyway, I just wanted to take this video really for me before I get rid of these things, because the only constant in life is change, and you know, you got to move on. It's really, you know, you got to not be hanging on to the past, I guess. So yeah.